Hello and welcome into Off Topic. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Oh, sorry, started echoing a bit there, but anyway, welcome to everyone. I was in a lot better mood like 3 minutes ago, and Alex Wilson says Friday night in Midland, nothing can go wrong unless you were unaware of the Jonas Lasso DMP. I was aware, but I have lost 5 lineups now because of Midland rotation. So apologies for my negative attitude over the next hour because I, man, really needed these. I've been in a little bit of a rut, so rare wise, for a number of different reasons, and I was like, as long as I like tried to like really prioritize things. I was doing lineups all week, and then all of a sudden, yeah, the Lawson news came up this morning, and I was like, all right, got through that, and then downhill. Paulinho on the bench for Midland, and I have him in 3 threshold lineups. And I have a captain, Arl Simsier, who's on the bench as well. That's right, Friday afternoon curse. But we'll cheer up. Thank you everybody for joining. 93 Acres first in, buzzing. Thanks for coming. Mike Baston's enjoying a Friday. Sorry, Geek, what's up? Finally catching live. Alex, thank you for coming in. Mike, apologies for not using the salt and pepper. I don't know. Did you want me to sing it or something like that? I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, let's talk about bots. Surface, hello. Sorare Holland, thanks for coming in. Blue Tomatoes. We're going to talk about bots for a little bit. Germ, good to see you. Sorare Malta, Kev Hurd. Everyone's here. Carrie, see, I got it right. Oh, you guys saying Paulinho is in? I thought I saw that he was not in. Is he in? Is it true? The ups and downs of Sorare here. Let's see. Is he in? He is in. Let's go. All right. Happy Laird is back. Let's go. Love Sorare. Anyway, so man, that was stupid. So let's talk about bots first. I have a lot of things to say. And yeah, that's right. Alex, what a turnaround plus. Yeah. Yeah, that frown is upside, frown is upside down now. Man, that's funny. The two of you said turn that frown upside down. All right. Isn't Sorare great? Never a doubt. Surfer said a new announcement came out, season-long tournament in NBA. I wasn't going to talk about NBA today, but I guess we could. Let's see is it actually like announced somewhere? Deke says the emotion swings of Sarah can take years off your life. Yes, for real. All right. I guess we'll start with NBA since that's what everybody comes here for. But let's just quickly look at this. It says for the in-season tournament, they're just going to have some eligibility common cards only, advanced scarcity, limiteds and rares, and then the big boys, cumulative scoring. Just what are the prizes? 60,000 in total cash plus signed merch from my boys, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and then 2 other guys. That's for the advanced. Experts can compete for 40,000 and the same jerseys. No Sorare player cards will be rewarded. Fun. I mean, they kind of had to do this because the schedule literally stops, and so there's that. Yeah. You're right. It was a little bit of a disrespect to Donovan Mitchell. I do love Donovan Mitchell as well. I'll love him even more when they trade him to the Knicks. So anyway, that's the NBA update. Hope that didn't take too long. I'll go through it later, I'm sure. So there were a few things I wanted to talk about today. It was bots, Sorare sentiment, which you can see mine changed pretty significantly just now. And what else did I say? I tweeted about it and everything. Let's see. This is why I write things down. Playing versus investing, rewards, and more. Ooh, that's loaded. Excuse me. Joshua said RJ Barrett and Julius Randle for Donovan. I mean, why would the Cavs do that? But I would do that in a second if I was the Knicks. Like, I would pack Randall's bags for him. Anyway, let's start with bots because I wanted to talk about that. And we talked about it a little bit on the strategy show. And then Sean brought it up yesterday during the Jude Bellingham auction watch. And what Sean talked about was like the view that Sean was looking at was I didn't really want to, like, the whole Basel situation of losing those two cards and then what he had to do to get them back. That is what it is. It's human nature on all sides around. But what I really want to talk about was the bots that we have on Sorare. And I know that I know of 4 that are active and they do different things. Obviously, there's Basilbot, there's Ruve, Surhis, and then Satonio. And does Satonio, if anybody uses them, is that like an automated trading bot as well? Because obviously that's what Surhis, Ruve, and Basil do. But Satonio, I thought, was only just buying, not necessarily selling. And then, yeah, there's Bologna as well, who takes advantage of people's mistakes. So I think the problem is that people are putting all of these bots together as if they're the same and that they're run by the same people, even though they're robots. But I think there's this really weird. Joshua said it doesn't do bulk trades and buys. All right. So what does it do? It just buys. It just bids on every single auction. Yeah. Daniel Cooper said Satonio is in every auction I think I've ever been in. He haunts my nightmares. So Satonio is actually part of the discussion of whether of the community needing to decide which way they want it, because it's very similar to the whole, we need prices to go up, but we need more rewards for everybody. And there's all of this stuff that people are arguing and they don't realize what they're arguing is actually against what they want. So anyway, excuse me. So sorry. So this topic that I wanted to talk about came up because Basil got some crap on Twitter about selling a card. And he sold this card. I think he listed it. He said he listed it at the last sale. It was a rare card of Javier Cabrera, who I can't believe anybody would ever want to buy a Javier Cabrera card. But we're here. So anyway, so he sold it at the floor price, which was the last sale price. And he got some crap from people who were like, you're killing the market. You're making prices go down because you're undercutting. And I have not spoken to Basil about this. I haven't spoken to Surhis or Ruve or anyone, or Pavel or anyone, any of these traders that are in the business of selling cards, right? And so the way that you sell cards is you offer them for a price that somebody else would buy them. And I think that is a fundamental economic principle that most people who play Sorare completely ignore. That things are only worth what one person is willing to sell it and one person is willing to buy it. And that doesn't mean that you have to buy it at that price. It doesn't mean you have to sell it at that price, but it does mean that two people mutually agreed on it. And Quinny actually brought this up a long time ago, that it is a kind of weird that two people on a platform of hundreds of thousands decide what something is worth. And so if if something is traded for $10 for a while and all of a sudden somebody pays 18, then everyone else who has one is like, oh, that's what my thing is worth, and I will not sell for less than that. And just because one person bought it for more doesn't mean everybody's going to want it for more. So everybody lists it for 18, and then a bot comes around and they list it for 17, and then another trader comes in, lists it for 16. Everyone's like, stop doing this. You're lowering the floor. And it's like, well, maybe it's an artificial last sale that is making you feel this way. But German saying last sale and floor are very different. And this is true too. which people don't really understand. And so I think fundamentally the problem is that people are like, bots are killing values. It's not even like killing the market, but it's because even if you don't want to sell a card, if somebody else has a similar card to yours and it sells for less than what you paid, now your thing is worth less. So it's not even like they're undercutting you trying to sell. It's just like, oh, my value is going down because bots are selling things for cheap. On the flip side, they get really pissed off when bots like Satonio bid on every auction and then they get them for cheap. And they're like, that's not fair because you're just a bot. Why can't I get that card for cheap? Getting that card for cheap kills the value for everyone else. It's the same thing. And yet, all we want, like, that's fundamentally like, no, I just want what I want for really cheap. And I don't want some bot to come around and get it for cheaper. But I also don't want the bot to sell anything because then my values go down. You cannot have it both ways. It is impossible to have it both ways. So whichever side you want to be on, pick a side, but you need to pick one because you can't be on both. And it's driving me crazy. It is legitimately bothering me that people are complaining when like auctions go for cheap. Well, because somebody else got it. And it's like, well, I want it at that price. It's like, well, then you should have bought it. But I also want to sell it at 2x. Raul says just ban the bots. The bots are not the problem. I haven't even gotten to the fact that they provide like an unbelievable liquidity service that does not exist without them. Germ said if Satonio and Basil could keep undercutting each other for the limited Guarassi for my Ren collection, that'd be great. Yeah, that's what we all want. But banning bots doesn't do anything other than it takes liquidity out of the market. It completely eliminates the exit possibility of so many people, even if you take it as a lost. Like there are some people who are like, I need to get out of my cards quickly, and that's the way to do it. And if that disappears, then now you're just stuck. Javik said, I'm on the side of me buying low and selling high. That's reasonable. Gaz said bots ruin every game. Like what exactly are the bots ruining? Like, are you blaming them for low values because they're selling cards at prices that people want to buy? Like, you think you have a card that's worth $100, and if nobody wants to buy that card for more than $8, it's not worth $100, no matter what you think about it. Even if there was somebody who bought it for $100 3 days ago, if nobody else wants it at that price, it's not worth that. Sorry, Mike, you're right. It's going to be a little feisty. So Ramalto said, on the auction point, I don't think it makes values down prior to the last bid introduction. Prior to the last bid introduction, you can see when someone got a bargain or an outlier in an auction. So why does it matter if the bots get these values? Like, Daniel, this is what I agree with. Would it be different if a human was doing the exact same thing? Just some sort of superhuman that was able to bid manually on everything. Oh, max bid. On the auction point, I don't think it's prior to the max bid introduction, you could see someone get a bargain. So but like a lot of max bids, like there are plenty of people who max bid manually. It's not just bots. Raul said, we all feel sorry what happened to Basil. Not everybody feels sorry. Absolutely not. I do, but not everybody does. Anyway, when I try to send him my card, a goalkeeper finished 15th in Challenger, $250 value, and he sends 130, then I'm thinking, fuck it. So then, yeah, you don't sell it. I don't understand what the problem is. Go find somebody else that will buy it. And you're going to have to keep going under 250. If you think it's 250 because I assume the last sale was that, right? Which means one person who wanted a card bought it. But that doesn't mean that anyone else wants it at that price. Sorare said bots take away bargain hunting aspect of the game, which used to be an important aspect of the fun of the platform when it was in its infancy. Not saying they should be banned necessarily, though. So I get that. I get that. But that doesn't mean you were ever going to get them anyway. It could just be somebody else. I want to disassociate Bologna with the other bots, because that one is clearly set up to take advantage of mistakes. Actually, you know what? Well, it is. That it seems like it is. And that being said, I have seen people like basically not like trick Bologna, but if they're like, I want out of this card for whatever, they'll price it really low and Bologna will buy it, which is like they didn't get tripped up by a mistake. It was fundamentally they were like, I will sell this at the lowest price, the highest price possible, that a bot that will take advantage of mistakes will buy it. And I know multiple people who have done that. Sora Malta said, yeah, so that is the problem. So that was, I remember when I first joined the platform, like late Friday nights for me on the East Coast of the US was like the best time to buy cards, because like the European audience was sleeping and there just weren't that many people bidding for cards. It was great. But yeah, the max bid has killed that. But that had nothing to do with a bot. Tom Brinson said, if bots were removed, would normal market liquidity increase enough to fill the void? No. Yeah, and you're right. There are still gallery buyers who aren't bots. Blue Tomato said, how often does a bot get these bargains? Is it really that often? I don't even know if it is that often. Metal Gear said, you can even make profit with trading bots. They provide great liquidity and people are just mad because they hold some floors. Long story short, trading bots are great for the platform. Ban Bologna. I think that's correct. Let me rephrase. I agree with that. I don't care about banning Bologna, but like fundamentally, what rule is Bologna breaking? Is it just that they're not nice because they're taking these cards that people mistakenly listed? Mike Basson said, can they still be make mistakes now with all the safety measures and warnings Sorare put in place? I think that the number of mistakes are significantly fewer. That's all. Joshua said, Bologna just needs better PR. He's not necessarily worse or better than other bots. I think he's worse. He's definitely not better. Yeah. As said, if Sorare needs bots for liquidity, that is a bigger problem than the bots themselves. So Sorare doesn't need bots. They need people to provide liquidity, and the people that provide liquidity are using bots to do that. Like, I don't understand this. Like, sorry, I got thrown off there. It's not like it's not a robot taking over. Like, these are human beings. Like, Basil is a human being who apparently had a problem with his code that allowed two people to get these cards that really weren't for sale. Like, it's a human who's doing this. You need a human to program this stuff. Sorry, I'm going back through the. Yeah, Jay Blaze said it's not a rule. It's just no shot at anyone else sniping a card. So that's the other problem. That's the other issue, is that like when somebody makes a mistake and Bologna gets it, fundamentally, we're not like, everybody gets angry at Bologna because they were first, not because they're taking advantage. It was like, oh, if that card was really, I would have bought that card. Like, that's how people think. I would have loved that card at that price. Oh, but the bot got it first. But like, it's not the bot who's doing something wrong. Like, you were going to do something wrong if you were there, if you could have done it faster. Yeah, bot's killed there. I don't know. It was 3 times I couldn't do it. Daniel Kupalona had enough of the slander. Sora Malta says Basilbot has a number one Bryce Mableau. He won on auction 0.4 and the bot won't sell for less than double. I think is why they shouldn't be able to bid on auctions. Auctions are my only issue. Okay, so I have talked, and actually forget about me talking about it because I haven't really had much of a conversation about it. But the Basil has said on Twitter also that he doesn't really know how to price one ofs or jersey mints. Like fun, and none of us do. Like if we have one and someone's like, "Hey, I'll give you 20% more than last sale for your jersey mint," and you're like, "Do I want to sell or not?" And so the problem with those cards is it always depends on, like, they're edge cases in a platform that has so many regular cards. And so the problem is just that, hey, if you want this card, you're gonna have to pay double. And sometimes you have to do that to get certain cards. And I do think that's a bit of a it's not a hole, but it makes it difficult to get those cards from Basel, at least. Like I got a Gustav Isaacson jersey mint from Sir Hiss, I think it was Sir Hiss, for floor price. Like I don't think at the time Sir Hiss had any premium built into the price for a jersey mint. And so I traded and got it. And I think that a jersey mint is worth more than a non-jersey mint. And so I took advantage of that as a human being. But I don't. So I think the problem with Basil, who has a ton of jersey mints, is there's no automated way for it, and so he just lists it really highly because it's the same as us. If you have a card and nobody else is selling, you're like, "Oh, I'll post it for 2x the floor. Who cares? Or last sale. Who cares?" And so I wish there was more of an ability to negotiate on jersey mints with Basil. I get that. But like, just be like, you're trying to get it for last sale, but there should be a premium on that card. And Basil's considering it 2x. And he has every right to do that. We all have every right to price our cards for whatever we want, just knowing that if they're too high, they're not going to sell. Sorry, catching up. Hello, Chani. Thanks for coming in. Metal Gear said, if Bologna snipes a card, there is zero chance to return it. Where if a person buys the mistaken listing, some will return it. That is the difference. I guess. There are plenty of people who would buy it and not return it. So yes, there's a more than 0% chance it gets returned, but Javik said that what I just said was 100% true, which is really what Metal Gear said. Every other bot can both be annoying and very useful, just like humans. Yeah. And Sora Malta said, so here's another thing. They will not pay more for a jersey mint, the bots. Well, I don't know if any of them do, but I don't think they do. And that's their prerogative. Like they can say no, and you have to go somewhere else, and you have to go find somewhere else that will give you a value. So I think that's another humongous advantage to bots, is that you can get an somewhat immediate reply of how much you can get for your card. And they have set up and saying, I'm not going to pay more for jersey mints. And there are plenty of people on the platform who think jersey mints are stupid. The premium is stupid. I'm not going to pay anymore. And so they don't. And it's okay. Like, it's okay if you think I would never pay more for a jersey mint, right? So regardless of collections or whatever, there's a card you want, and there's someone is like, I have one, but it's a jersey mint, so you're gonna have to pay 20% more. And you're like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But if you win a jersey mint, now you're like, oh, this is worth more than just any other card. And how is that different if a bot does it than you? Daniel said he doesn't care if somebody returns or not. He just wants a human race for the snipe rather than it going to a bot who does it in 2 seconds. I don't like, I fundamentally don't think it matters. Like, I get what you're saying, but you should just create a bot. Chani said, due to the bots, it seems like people have forgotten about the bundle gallery buyers. They can be a good escape for those if you don't like the deals and they negotiate on Discord compared to bots. So I think some of this is right. Not some. I think you're right. Because I'm a Sorare player that used to almost every day check the cards that Pavel got, Super Usmane, Rody Boss, and like all of those guys. I'd be like, oh, what do they have? And sending them offers, waiting however long you have to wait for a reply, usually a rejection, and being able to get an automated one from a bot is just a nicer experience for somebody who likes to trade cards. And so I really like trading cards. I was talking to Gator Guy about this earlier this week, maybe. Yeah, it was Tuesday, excuse me. So I went to sleep Monday night with 7 or 8 trade offers sent out with 2 cards that I had won previously and was trying to trade them for other cards. I had one to Pavel, I had one to whoever else, and a bunch of other random people. And they were 2 cards that I wasn't likely going to use in my line. I wasn't going to use for the midweek. They were both midweek players. And so I had 8 offers out, and I woke up the next morning and all 8 had been canceled because both of the cards that I was offering in these trades sold. And I was actually like a little disappointed. Despite like I wanted to sell the cards, but I just enjoy trading more. I think it's just it's a more fun experience of like, hey, I have this thing. Do you want it in exchange for your thing? Instead of just like getting money where now obviously I can just go out and buy whatever I want now. But I really like trading. And so using these bots where you can just spam it with offers, meaning just like counter offer after counter offer, because it's not a human like taking the time and getting pissed off that you're just adding another 3 cents to your offer. And I think they're a tremendous addition for somebody like me who likes to trade. Like that part of the game I really enjoy. And so I actually consider doing an entire show on just trading with bots. Not like, hey, here's one, but literally here's my one card. I'm going to trade it to a bot for this and see if I could essentially beat the 20%. And it was too long. I actually was going to do that before I sold all my limiteds the first time. And so but it was going to take too long. I didn't want to go through it. Daniel said, if I wanted out, I can't be arsed to negotiate. I don't want to individually list and sell 360 cards. The bot gallery buyers can have them. Yeah. Sure. I mean, I sold to a trader. But yeah, I sold 110 cards like right away. It was great. David said, I honestly think without bots, the limited and rare market would be literally on its knees in regards to liquidity. The market is slow now. Imagine if you didn't have bots willing to buy people's shit. Yeah, I think that's so. There's no way that a human could process all of the trades that the bots get. Like the volume is just too high. I was talking to somebody the other day and I think they sent like an incorrect offer to Pavel that's what it was. So they were countering back and forth with Pavel and they were going to accept one and accidentally rejected it. Probably just force of habit. And then DM'd Pavel and was like, we've been going back and forth. The last offer you sent to me, I would like to accept. Can I just resubmit it? And he was like, yes, if you could just do it now because I have 700 pending offers, like open offers. And I don't think Basil has shared how many offers he gets, but it's a lot. And I don't think a human can deal with as many as they do, especially for how many 10 limited cards for 1 limited card offers they get. And you have to figure out what the value of those 10 limited cards are when it's actually like $3. Like it's not worth the time for the human. That's why the bot is so helpful. Chani said, I've been selling to bots only lately, and those price cuts I've taken then look like a great deal just 1 to 2 weeks later. So it's funny you say that. I'm glad you brought that up. Chani, like if you told me you have 80 euro cash now as your reward or a $100 card reward, I'd take instant liquidity any day. So that's a huge point of all of this. And like I said before, I don't think a human has enough time to process all of these offers in order to provide that liquidity. And Chani, I was going to do that fairly recently for the rare card that I won from that cap 270 limited lineup that I talked about on limited time only. And I remember the floor price, or maybe the last sale. Actually, I can pull it up. So it was this guy, Dijon Kamari. So I won this card on September 29th. Rare card. Which there wasn't even a sale in that, like, fairly recently. So what is that, about a month ago? Wait, I meant to just do this. So the last sale was $64, right? And I'm fairly certain I sent the card to Basil and to, I think Roove was empty at the time. And Basil offered me like 50 or 55. It was somewhere around there. And I was like, I'll just keep it. It'll go up. Last sale, $43.89. Still haven't sold it. Still have the card. So had I just taken it, I would have been fine. So Daniel and JVic just brought something up, but I'll get to that in a second. Malky said, Roove is interesting because if you trade with him, you get something back like supermarket loyalty points, which reduces future premiums on trades. He doesn't have to do it, but he does. And I will say that one thing that Roove did, I assume he still does it, is if you overpay for a card, he'll like correct it basically. Like he will take some off of your side and be like, you're paying me too much, which I don't think the others do. And I think that's okay. Like, I think it's okay for them to do that. Only problem is his cards are usually inferior. Yeah. Roove's gallery is a weird one now. So Daniel Cooper said, wonder if people would feel better if it was a bot run by Sorare. And JVic said, if Satonia was run by Sorare, would it be ethical? Malky said Surhis does that. Okay. So I don't think. Oh, okay. Here we go. Deco says Surhis does the refund for overpays. Roove gives you a future credit. Okay. So I don't think Sorare should run the bot. And I say that because I have long been in the opinion that I don't think Sorare should determine how much cards should be worth. And the rewards pools kind of show that they also don't know how much cards are worth right now. They may know what cards were worth 2 weeks ago, but they don't know what they are worth right now. And so I just don't think it benefits Sorare, particularly because the point of a bot, not point of a bot, excuse me, point of a trader is I want to buy this for cheap and sell it for more, which fundamentally is like what we all want to do. They just do it at mass scale. And Sorare have plenty of other things to deal with that I don't think that's part of their role in this ecosystem. Chani said, especially with cards worth 100 or less, it feels like the lesser painful trade if you get 80 instead of 100, but 800 instead of 1,000 is a different vibe. I feel that. Yeah, I think you're right about that. But also, a lot of times we think something is worth $1,000 and nobody is willing to pay more than 700 for it. Like, that's sort of the problem that we have with super rares is last sale doesn't mean anything if there was only one buyer and that buyer was the one who had the last sale. Now nobody wants your card. And so what you think you have is not worth it anymore. And I think that came up, it was with Nellis, where somebody like way overpaid for a Rafael Leao super rare. He still has his, but I remember there was he talked up for a long time about selling it. And let me see here. So Pavel sold a Leao super rare 11 months ago for 6.6 ETH. And I remember John talking about it on his show, and he was like, holy shit, my Rafael Leao is worth 6.6 ETH. So he posted it for 6 ETH, I think. He probably posted it for more, actually. Can we, it probably didn't. I'm going to find there. So John listed his eventually for 10 ETH. But if you look, let's just do this little window here. So 6.6 ETH. So someone immediately posts, Calvin Cole says, all right, you can have mine for 10. Nobody buys. Raffle says, I'll do 8.5. Nobody buys. Sir Winchester said, I'll sell for 13.42. Nobody buys. And so all of these people are sitting on Rafael Leao super rares thinking this is worth at least 6.6 ETH because Pavel sold one for 6.6 ETH just a few days ago. But nobody wants to buy it. So it's not worth that. And so the problem is that you're looking at this saying, man, now I have to get closer to 6.6. And then finally somebody dips under. There's Nellis. All right, I'll sell it for less, 6.25. What do you know? Nobody buys. And so we get to a point where this 6.6, all of a sudden, finally, so what was that 2.1? That was that Calvin Cole? So Calvin Cole posted theirs almost immediately after Pavel for 6.6, or sold for 6.6. Hey, everyone, you can have mine for 10. And 3 months later, sells it for 2.1. And that's the price now. And so that's the problem that we have, particularly with super rares, that somebody pays something for one, and you're like, that's what mine is worth. But you need to have somebody who's willing to pay that price. And in this case, nobody else was willing to do it. They were willing to spend a third of that 3 months later. Mike said, have you found anyone who thinks your Joao Felix is worth 10 ETH? 100 ETH, Mike, 100 ETH. But no, I haven't. I don't think Joao ever got to, did he get to 10? For some reason, I feel like the ceiling was always not as high as we remember. Yeah, see, never got to 10. 9.422 was the highest. What's funny is how little I've also won with this card. Oh, actually, I take that back. I don't think I've won anything good, though. Ever. Yeah. You're right, Mike. The market has changed since my 100 ETH valuation. Sorare Holland said, what about an option to burn? And I already don't want to read the rest of it because I think, what about an option to burn your cards for 70% of the lowest floor or average price in ETH? Why burn it? At 70% of the floor, it sells, right? Or that becomes the new floor because nobody wants that card. So like, I understand the secondary point of this of, oh no, you're burning cards. So you're taking those off they're not on the platform, reduces supply, but it's reducing supply of something that nobody wants. Like nobody's burning good cards, and it's the good cards that make a difference on this platform. Man. All right. Midtjylland starting in 20 minutes. That's all we got, guys. Checking Twitter to make sure like Paulinho didn't come up lame in the What what else did I say I was going to talk about? Bots. I really don't want to talk about rewards. It's exhausting. Wasn't there another thing? Bots, rewards. Oh, playing versus investing. Kev, I am going to watch the game. I am. Fridays I can watch. Those are fun. So playing versus investing, I wanted to talk about because Maxime brought it up a little bit on the Bellingham auction yesterday, which is turned into a very weird conversation after the auction. Congrats again to AJ for that Jude Bellingham unique. But he said that people need to figure out whether this is like a platform where you can make money or a game. Like if it's an investing platform or it's a game. Ryan, you can watch Midtjylland on One Football. Yeah. So anyway, so and I was talking a little bit about this with um with Gator Guy because I talked to him a ton, and it made me start thinking of a few things. One of which is that Sorare almost always treated themselves like a fantasy football platform or a fantasy sports platform. And I think that's important because they have never really marketed themselves, certainly not as an investment platform, but they never really presented themselves as a place where you can make money. Like you can win things, but that wasn't ever the point from Sorare. And I think that's really important because we all think it is. And the reason we all think it is, not all of us, the reason why a lot of us think it is because we have made money here. And so that starts to cloud what this is. Daniel said, I don't get the investing thing in Sorare. Everyone seems to think it's bad as we all hear it's bad as all we hear is how everyone is losing money. I just spend money like I would on concert tickets, much more fun psychologically. And Tom said, I always cringe when I hear the term investing in Sorare. And Jump Shoot, no, this is not a conversation about sex bots, although I believe the Sorare MLB and NBA Discord got there. Rel says, not everyone make money here. That's absolutely true. But not everyone is here to make money. And I think that's important. And I think it's important that Sorare have never, literally never marketed themselves as somewhere to come to make money. And I never really thought that was important until recently. And I remember a year and a half ago, I was doing some sort of content and somebody brought that up. Oh, I remember what it was. It was the Erling Haaland unique, first one, which we did a auction watch for. And it was so fun. Like that auction was peak FOMO, DGen, whatever you want. That card sold for $650,000. And the biggest criticism that Sorare got after that auction was that they didn't publicize that. Like there's almost no Sorare announcement or anything that they had sold a JPEG for almost $750,000. And fundamentally, it's because they're like, we're a fantasy football game. The market is the market. We sell the cards and we will get whatever they are. But we're not here to say, look how much we make or look how much you can make. And that has never changed. Like they really do not even now say they actually, I take that back. They're starting to do it a little bit for the US sports, that they have had somewhat recent like Twitter content or whatever of like, these are the most expensive cards that have sold. But I don't think they've ever done that for football. And that's really important because people who join Sorare buy cards and see their prices plummet and they don't win anything, immediately blame Sorare. And I think that Sorare is partially to blame, but not because of the way you guys are going, not the way people will think. And the reason that Sorare has some blame is because over the last 2 years, their marketing and advertising has been solely reliant on word of mouth. And people who made a lot of money on Sorare are more willing to try to get other people to sign up and do the same thing. And a lot of the content that was out there is, look how much money I've made on Sorare. I bought this card for $100 and sold it for 10 grand. Here's my referral link. And not to say that's wrong at all, but it also gives everybody who's watching the only exposure they have to Sorare is, oh, I can make a lot of money doing this. This guy did it. He looks like a moron. I'm smarter than him. I can make a lot of money doing this. And so they join Sorare, and really never are they told, hey, this is just a game. Yes, you can make money here, but like the point is to like do better in the game. And so I think that doesn't mean that they have to hide the money aspect. Obviously, you need to buy the cards and the cards' values will go up and down. But because Sorare basically handed off advertising and marketing for so long, you're relying on people who have made money to be like, hey, here a referral. Get 30 people to buy 5 cards. We'll give you a unique. And you're like, all right, what's the easiest way to get people to sign up? Tell them how much money I've made. Because they're going to see and be like, oh, I want to make money too. But again, and because Sorare has effectively zero advertising in the spaces where people are looking for Sorare content, they're now at the mercy of advertising by people who have had success on the platform and are trying to get other people to join. And I think that is where we can fault Sorare, because they lost the message. They handed off the message to somebody else. And instead of saying, hey, there's this really awesome fantasy sports platform that allows me to win this stuff, and I sold it for this, this is how you can this is the $50 team that can pay you $50 every other week or every week for the rest of your life. And that's the problem. Sorry, I went on a total rant there and I've completely ignored the chat. So I'm going to catch up here. A good place to Sorare is really more like betting than an investment or a game. There's room for some to win, but most don't. So investing is that way too. Like just investing in regular public securities. Not everybody wins. Most people do not. They just hold it long enough that it's okay. Mike said, Sorare did not quash anything when people were selling the product to others as how much money could be made until people started complaining they had lost money. Then they stated their position. So yes, but also have they even quashed it? Like they probably are like, hey, John, like maybe quit the whole, like, this is how much money I made. But I think that like fundamentally the problem is the easiest way to learn about Sorare is from Sorare users, many of which were early on the platform and have made a lot of money. And the reason they love it so much because like, hey, I made all this money. But selling new people on this is selling them something different. And that's bad. I think that's bad. Daniel Cooper said, if I put in $5,000 over my years on Sorare and when I get out, I have 2,000, then I'm very happy I suddenly have 2,000. So Daniel, I think the problem is that you're being very rational about this and most people are going to disagree with you. Kev Hurd said, I'd love to eventually make money on Sorare. In the meantime, I'll have fun enjoying. So I also want to, because I haven't caught up on the chat, but surely somebody will bring this up. I was one of those early people. And so the line, what was the line that I actually sent to Keith? Because it was so good, I've completely forgotten it. Let me see. So what Maxime said yesterday was that we need to decide whether this is an investment platform or a game. And Sorare have always said they're a game. The problem is that because so many early people made money, they don't necessarily look at it as a game. So, okay. I'm just going to read exactly what I wrote to him. So I said, what has bothered me lately is that everyone who is like, quote, lost money came to Sorare under the impression that it was somewhere to make money. Not, hey, come play this fantasy football game. It was like, hey, come buy these cards and make some money. So that was the draw, not come play the game, whether that's right or wrong, however they felt. And I said, and now they're being told by people like me and Maxime and other people who were early and who did make money that it's just a game. And that pisses people off. And I get it. Like, I get that. That me sitting here, somebody who did make money in this game, I mean, hell, like, it's literally my job now to like try to help people in this game. But it also, I had a humongous financial advantage. And I'm now here being like, you guys really should just treat this as a game. Like, I've always treated it as a game, but I also put in a decent amount of money early on. And my gallery is worth more now than what I put in, which I realize is just because I was here early. But me telling you guys, like, it's really just a game, I realize that that pisses some people off. But also, it's what Sorare has said the entire time. Raul said, all that because prices were higher, supply smaller, all nice and green, won't happen again. Maybe. Oh, somebody reminded me about limiteds later. Genesis said it's all about the fun. It's not an investment. That's why I traded most of my non-PSG cards for an Mbappe rare. Whoa, you got it. Get out of here, Genesis. Sorry. So Genesis has been writing about his journey to an Mbappe. And I believe the point was to eventually win an Mbappe, but you can't win Mbappe now. So he just, Genesis, let's go. That's awesome. Let's see. What'd you trade? Cherky is the only guy I know here. Oh, Dembele, Tell. That is a phenomenal trade. What is a Lenny Euro? That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats, Genesis. That's like one of those random things I know about. So, that come up in Sorare that I don't really know Genesis. I know him from Twitter and Discord and stuff, but a huge PSG fan, knows everything about French football, more about French football than I would know about anything, and has always wanted an Mbappe. And now you got one. Oh, man, that is awesome. Do you line it up this week? Let's see. That's awesome. That is really cool. Always captain your new toys. Sorry. Let's see. Tom Brinson, I think a lot of YouTube Sorare content creators market Sorare as a way to make money. Quinny Nellis, et cetera, have videos saying how much you can make and how much they make. Do they have content that says this is how much you can make? Or this is how much I made? That's very different. Sorry, I'm catching up again. Deke said, I just think about playing FIFA EAFC compared to Sorare, where EAFC Ultimate Team just restarts every year and you lose all your progress, and Sorare you can strategize until 2030 if you want. So absolutely, I think strategizing until 2030 is a terrible idea, but yeah, you can do that. I think fundamentally the difference is I am paying to play this fantasy game versus I am here to make money. That's the difference. And never once has Sorare said, like, come here to make money. Chani said, I kind of agree. People shouldn't make content saying this is how you make money on Sorare. Feels like a slippery slope. So I think that the problem is there's a market for that. Regardless of there are people who come to Sorare. So because you can make money on Sorare, people are going to come here to make money. And when those people are unsuccessful, it's Sorare's fault. And if they get here because they watched a video or heard a podcast or something that like, this is how I made a lot of money on Sorare. And if it's Mario's end, you can too, if you just, subscribe to my Patreon and do all the things that I tell you to do. Like, I think that's borderline. Daniel Cooper said, I just blame Nellis. Did you know he's now a billionaire he's a billionaire now. Chani said it should be more about this is how you win. So I think that's right. And I think we're getting better at that. I think the community is moving further away, probably because nobody thinks they can make money anymore. But that's where the content should have always been. This is how you get better at Sorare. Fundamentally, that's what we've always tried to do at Sorare Data. Like, we're not here to be like, this is how you make money. It's like, this is how you are successful in the game. And part of that obviously is buying and selling cards, but it shouldn't be just that. Mike said there was a good 6-month period where literally that was the marketing campaign by the community. Right, by the community. Sorare Geek said you can't make videos on making money on Sorare if you aren't making money on Sorare. Not true. There are plenty of people who do that. Sorare Malta, look at how much money I made. By the way, this isn't financial advice. Right. Deco said, I hate content that encourages that. And I apologize because I'm like 10 minutes back in the chat. So I'm not even sure what we're talking about anymore. But I like some of those guys, but the sensationalist thumbnails, headlines irritate me. It's just irresponsible. Yeah. Metal Gear said, Sorare provides opportunities to win money like many other activities, but for the project to progress, most of the managers should lose money. If you are good, you will profit, though. But it is economically impossible for everyone to make money. Like, eventually we run out of people. And so that's the game part of it, though. Like, that's where you sell this as a game of the fundamentally come spend some money and see if you can beat this game. And a lot of people won't. That's what happens. Not everybody can win. And that doesn't mean everybody's losing money. Maybe some people are just spending money on trying to win at this game. And I think just mentally, that's a very different. And if you come in here saying, I spent all this money and I've got nothing to show for it, that's different than I invested all this money, now it's worth nothing. But it's still same money in. Kevin said, it depends on the goal. You can comfortably build a 30 quid limited threshold team and make money getting $5 a week. Yeah, I agree. Mike Basson said, didn't Sorare tell all affiliates to stop making content saying how much money people could make? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Sorare affiliate. But I wouldn't be surprised. And my guess is it was probably always there. Sorare Malta says, Sorare to me is a game, Football Manager, FIFA, card collecting, FPL, all rolled into one. This is what any football fan ever dreamed of. Yeah, I agree. Betting is the same as investing is a horrible take. Did I say that? Did I say betting is the same as investing? I don't remember that. Hugo said, I've lost 5K since new cards came in. So you have no cards? You sold all your cards? So they're gone? Mike says it's more of a game now than ever. And Mike says, how can you have made money? You don't even know how to withdraw. This is true. You're right. That is a true story. Raul said, soon you can buy this Mbappe for $100. I don't think so. Betting is the same as investing. I think this is fundamentally wrong, and I see Sorare as neither. I agree with you. Did I say betting was? I'm sorry if I said that. I didn't. I would have. I must have just misspoke. Misspoke. Because I agree with you. I don't think they're the same at all. Tom Brinson said, it's hard for Sorare to shake the money aspect when they're selling cards for thousands or more. You can play the same game at limited for a fraction. Why is anyone playing rare plus without the money aspect? I don't think you're avoiding, like, it's, you can't avoid the money aspect because you obviously need to buy the cards. You need to avoid the investment aspect. That's the point. And I think a lot of a bigger problem that people have is that they only look at card value and not rewards. And so they completely forget that they won these rewards. And they look at their card values that are down. And a lot of times they're down for any different reason, any number of reasons. And so because they ignore the rewards, they're like, my cards are just worth less. This sucks. And it's like, well, count the rewards, sell the rewards. Daniel said, I'm so excited. I just invested in a limited Kimmich that will 100% yield me $5,000 in the next 2 months. Yeah. Perfect. Let's see. That's right. He's home. Love it, Genesis. Tom Brinson said, Quinny literally has a video saying how to make money. So I watched that video recently. Did you watch the video? Because the video is literally explaining how you make money, like buying cards and selling them for more, or winning rewards and selling the rewards, which is true. But I don't think it's hey, here's how you make money. Here's how you can make 5x whatever, return in 2 days. I think that's different. But I do think that's also a little clickbaity, which is more of a YouTube problem than a Quinny problem. G. Walm said, it's meant to be fun. Judging from your face at the start of the stream, a potential DMP can make it not fun. Totally. Auction rate up 35% is mind baffling. It's not if you understand when auctions are busiest. So they auction a lot of cards now because the new cards are out and people want those cards. So Sorare is like, hey, you want new cards? We'll sell you new cards. Jerome said, Quinny saying this is how to make money is more about teaching strategy and not a follow the leader mentality. Yeah. JH said they have to justify the price we pay for it. Who has to justify it? Sorare? If they want us to use pocket change, then fine, but how sustainable is that? Sorare don't have to justify any price. They don't set prices. We do. Okay, sorry. My apologies. So I didn't. I'll go back and listen as well. I do not think betting is the same as investing. I think neither of them are Sorare though. Sword Malta said, if Midtjylland win me a podium, I'll stream with you. He wants me to stream as dressed as a Viking. I'll do that. Sure. I agree with you. Good place that Midtjylland can go fuck for benching Sincere. He'll come off the bench and get a decisive for us. Don't worry. Sorare Geek, sorry guys, the game's starting, so I'm going to close this soon. Said, you can't monetize the feeling of a fresh game week. In my opinion, that's what keeps me loving the platform and treating it as a strategy game. JH said, auction rate has been stable since the season started. Now is the time for the worst dip, and they increase it. That is stupidity. They just have some more? They just have some new licenses. That's why it happens. Tony said, this happens every year. Build up to a new season. prices go up and then new card auctions start plummeting prices at some point. International game weeks come about and people get frustrated and rant about values. Daniel Cooper said, I just love the game, partly why I love the amateur modes. I'm sad I can't play them anymore. Sorare is the best fantasy football game I've seen by a mile, which I agree with. Yeah, I do think that I'm probably preaching the choir a lot here because, like, oh, maybe not. I don't know. JH said, without the potential financial game, no one would be betting. That is true. Yambusness. Yambu. I think people are overreacting, in my opinion, because people are money obsessed. I play with passion because I love scouting underlooked players and try to win anything. Yeah. Daniel Cooper, summary content creators are bad. Agreed. Yeah. They suck. Hate them all. How dare they share their experiences on something they enjoy. Anyway, I think that's all I got for today. Did Paulinho score yet? Let's see. Not yet. Yeah, I'm going to go watch this game because I can. That's right. Kev heard Forza Midtjylland. And I think we can. I'm happy to talk about this more if anybody really wants to, just not right now. But it's not getting tiring because, oh, actually, sorry, I'm going to say one more thing on this. I wonder now that there are fewer people who are coming here just to make money, I wonder if sentiment turns and people join to play the game, because now we're all like, oh, it's just a game. And let's see what happens to that, except that nobody's coming anyway. But like, I wonder how many more new users are coming in thinking I can just make money when the recent sentiment is nobody can make money. And Jumpshoot said, Sorare MLB gave me tickets to the World Series. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Have fun with that. I'm jealous. That's awesome. Anyway, thank you to everybody for coming. Again, if there's any topic that you want to, I was going to say to discuss, but it's really, I'm the only one discussing, at least out loud. Thank you to everybody in the chat, by the way. It's the best part of this stream is the chat. So I enjoy it greatly. And so thank you so much for coming. And if you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny, who's doing all that horrible, horrible content, telling people that they can make money on Sorare. And I'm just kidding. Go subscribe to Quinny's channel, Quinny 3001, Sorare TV, all that good stuff. And yeah, Forza Midtjylland.